Unit 1, 2, and 3, that's it. Story, The Whistlet, Lucenith Rosado Villero. Does the story have a theme? If the use is the whistlet. 2. On what is the story? The story is about a whistler found on the beach by Professor Parky. He took and goes to the inn. She climbed in and discovered that it was very old, whistled with lyrics in Latin, but trying whistling sounds because it's full of dirty. Later, before going to bed, cleaned again and sad song and high pitched. When finished, blows changed the environment with strong wind and everything got dark. Nor knows the light go out. Then he tried to sleep but dreamed of the thoughts that followed him on the beach. He stayed up all night. Tell him what happened to feel wet, who advised him to throw the seed. Both are going to play golf. He writes on the ins and notes that someone was in his room. Wuthering asked the maid, but she does not know what to say because he and the other are those kids, no one else. At night, with lights, the teacher sees a horrible shadow sitting on the bed. She was alone in her room. Widespread of terror trying to approach him with an ugly and very old face, causing a lot of fear with arm raised. Full of fear, the teacher sees after he goes the window. The next day, the teacher goes to the beach with Mr. Colonel Figol and decided to throw the whistling seed. And to terminate the case, there the story ends when Mr. Colonel tells the teacher parking is a event that only causes fear people but not hurt. Full of fear, the teacher sees after goes out the window. The next day, the teacher goes to the beach with Mr. Colonel Philo gets and decides to throw the whistle seed. And to terminate the case, there the story ends when Mr. Colonel tells the teacher parking is a event that causes fear people but not hurt. Full of fear, the teacher sees other. He goes out the window. The next day, the teacher goes to the beach with Mr. Colonel Figol gets and decides to throw the whistled seed. And to terminate the case, there the story ends when Mr. Colonel tells the teacher parking is a event that only causes fear people but not hurt. Does the story have a theme? Is the use? 3. What is the central idea? Is implicit or explicit? Places and objectives have through stories, legend, myths, and imagined stories, seeking popularity with writing becoming known to lead the reader with fat question of credibility. The central idea of the history is that there may be supernatural creatures or people who already exist and developed with objects that had left in the past life, as happens to the teacher with the finding of the whistlet, in which his situation of mystery, unfair, without explanation, but at the same real time. 4. Who the protagonist of the history? The protagonist of the history is Professor Parkin, with an approximate age of 50, who has been studying the finding and construction sheet, taking the rule and fan archaeology, present and solitary life, and traveling drinking seats for research, surviving without war and standing on a high scale and society, and their findings are published in the State Museums. 5. What is the problem that of in history? How the problem was solved in the end? The problem present in this story is the emergence of blood south with a fear of terror and fair light note and mysterious appearance coming out with the sounds of the whistles. The problem was solved by throwing the whistle seed and circle and the apparition of the blood saddle, and everything returned to normal. 6. What time of the history is the highest voltage? What dramatic climate? The highest voltage of this story score when the teacher sees the holy saddle on the other bed and tries to approach him, feeling profession of fear and impediment to doing something to defend. A climate of terror and certainly is given at the time. 7. The story involves an experience or moment of inspiration, revelation, or self-realization for the protagonist or the reader. How that moment comes. This history involves an experience with our supernatural occurrence that confronts our fear of humans. This experience is framed 3 times. First, when the teacher was on the beach and returning in the end, felt someone coming out behind him, in which the sound he was in a dream, full of fear. The second, when a boat full of fear told them, the teacher and Mr. Colonel, he had seen something horrible in the teacher's room window. And the last appearance, when the teacher in her room asleep suddenly opened his eye and see someone sitting on the other bed, looking hurt, clothes and sees an ugly old face, lying not by with a blood so produce feared.